Hello and welcome to another episode of Corgi Town, USA. I am Candy. In my lap is Chuckles, our spokescorg. As always, we have the whole Corgi committee here: Tito Bandito, Mortimer Barnabas, and our little senior lady, Booger. Typically, we have our co-host Kat, but she's had some scheduling things going on and her plate is full. So she will be back soon, no worries. But for this week, you get Chuckles and myself. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. We are here for you, pet parenting lifestyle, all things health of your corgi, traveling with your corgi. We talk about training, we talk about grooming, we talk about all dogs in general, life with dogs, corgi centric, but here for the pet parent as a source of information. We also have our creator series where we talk to different creators and artists that create pet centric type art. So all kinds of things that are informational. We've had several vets on the show where we've talked about health, what to expect. We kind of go in all of these different directions, trying to bring you relevant information. Every now and then we come across a business that we're extremely excited about and that we just are really happy to be a part of this little community. And so our guest today is one of those entrepreneurs that does have a pet-centric business. And please welcome Tony with Mobile Barkery. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got a busy day. You are doing event after event, and you're joining us straight from the truck. So that's awesome that you're taking the time to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, we just closed up at 2:30, and then at 3 o'clock, and it looks like we're like right on the money. So I just
Awesome. I'm so glad we can make this work. So tell us where you got the idea. I mean, how did this whole thing get started with Mobile Barkery?
yeah. So like twofold. So first, Kristen and I, my wife, who's also co-owner of the business, um, we live in Huntington Beach, so we're right off 20th Street, so right by the dog beach. If you've never been there, there's literally nowhere for like there's tons of dogs, but there's like no water, there's no food, there's really no nothing. Um, and so when we lived there, we even had some people who came from like inland who would come to the beach and go, "Hey, do you know where we can go get some water? Do you know where there's the bathroom? Do you know where the nearest place to get dog treats is?" We just pointed to the direction where everything was at. Um, so we knew there was like a need, and I think in our head we thought like, "Oh yeah, we're just going to be able to pull up to all these dog beaches and just open up the door." We can get into that a little bit more and like why
Yeah,
like it kind of shifted.
sure.
Thought that California's sunshine year round. And we figured, okay, you know, people don't necessarily need to go out of their way to go get their dog treats, so we can bring it to them. So that was number one. Number two, a part of it was like, okay, like we can have a doggy truck there. Like, what would it be? Like, what will we sell? Obviously, ice cream was the number one thing we thought of, frozen yogurt. But then there was there was another piece of it where it was like, okay, like what kind of treats should we make? So, originally, kind of when we started, we actually licensed into the pet. We didn't really know much about it. Over time, we kind of got out of that, and we want to do our own thing. So, like, w- I guess like the point of it is that like we really got into the business where we were like for help. So we didn't know anything about the pet business. We know we had an idea, we knew we had a concept, but we didn't know anything about treats. So we wanted to find a company that could actually like supply us the treats. So that's kind of like how we started, was get the truck and have someone who can supply us the treats. After about a year and a half, we rebranded to the Mobile Barkery. And then, that's when we started playing with recipes. We do grain-free organic treats, just because organic, for obvious reasons. The grain-free piece specifically was because we have two Frenchies, the guys are on the logo. They have chicken allergies, they have grain allergies. So when we were making the cookies, we wanted to make sure they were going for. And then we thought, well, if we open up a dog business, let's just make cookies where like nobody will have allergies to anything. We'll have such a variety of stuff, but the one thing that we don't want to come across as an issue is that there's a grain allergy, because that'll eliminate I don't know, 25% of the dogs that are out there. Other dogs have like chicken allergies, and there's like chicken or cookies in some of them, but we have about 12 to 14 different cookies that are in the truck. So one started with, being by the beach, having that idea, light bulb going off. The second piece was, okay, what to put in it, and it was because of our dogs. So it was location, and our animals were really the inspiration.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and Frenchies they tend to have a lot of allergies, I think, and corgis tend to
Oh
have very sensitive bellies. So
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome that you're doing that. And I have a few that there's certain things they can't eat. And you were kind enough to provide us some when we were at the Corgi Nationals, and mine loved them. So
Oh
they're definitely a big hit.
yeah, good. Yeah, dogs are like what I love about the corgis is like the corgis literally eat everything. It's awesome. Like
It's the best and worst thing.
so much, and people are kind of like, post another dog besides the corgi. I love the corgis because they eat everything. Um, you get to smaller dogs, and we have nothing against the smaller dogs because we have smaller dogs too. But like, that's when you like put a treat in front of them, and they're just like they sniff it, but they're kind of like, So we love. I mean, the corgis are great because they're good PR for us.
Food motivated. Yeah, I'm a trainer, and that food motivation makes a lot of your herding breeds very easy to train because food treats is an easy currency.
Right.
And some of your dogs that are not food motivated, it's a little bit more difficult because you're like, okay, what motivates this dog and how are we going to exploit that so that we can train? That's funny. But yeah, I love that you're doing that. That's so cool. And so tell me, I know that's kind of it's a deep rabbit hole, but what is, you would say, your biggest challenges in opening, conception to operation?
Yeah, the number one would be like at least when you first start out is learning the business. The one thing that I think makes us significantly different from a regular food truck is we're non-human consumption. So, like for example, if I was a food truck selling tacos, I couldn't go downtown Huntington Beach and then like open up my window and start selling tacos. You're just not allowed to do it. One, the city is, they have a rule that you got to be X amount of distance away from a competing business. So even if they don't sell tacos, maybe they sell burgers, but you sell tacos, it doesn't matter. Like you can't compete with them. The good thing about,
Mm,
like, we're pretty like it's easy to collaborate with a lot of these businesses who are dog friendly. So if we pull up, our truck fits in a parking space too. So we pull up, we're not really a competition to anybody. So we're not really a threat to any businesses. So the food trucks kind of get a bad rep, in the sense of like, especially out in California because your square footage is so expensive. They see a food truck and like, well, this is BS. They can just park wherever they want and blah 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 blah. But yeah, because we're a doggy truck, we get away with a lot more. Now that's a good part of it. The bad part of it, what's these things like it's learning, it's the permitting stuff, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I think we thought when we were going to open up, we're just going to park on Huntington Beach and there's going to be so many dogs. Doesn't work like that. They have rules that if you are over 35 miles an hour you cannot park there. So on Golden West and PCH, it's I think it's legit 35 miles an hour, so it's like right off that cutoff to where if it was like 5 miles an hour is less, we can probably park there. But it's kind of just more of like a safety issue.
mhm,
Um, Now, like certain areas and certain cities will also have, um, they'll have like if they have like a park or it's something that's funded by the city, like a city park. When we first opened, it was really easy. We can just go to any park we wanted to, and we can just pull up, open the door, um and now it's like changed, like because we're the first ones, right? Like we're the first ones there, but now there's like, there's like I think there's a couple other doggy treat food trucks that like started going to our spots, which we don't know,
mm,
whatever you want. But then there's, now there's people going to the beaches and the dog parks and they're selling like dog ice cream. So they're selling dog bandanas, which is free market. You can do whatever you want. But the point is, like, once you start doing that, it starts bringing a lot of eyeballs. So then the city starts getting involved and they're like, hey, we want our piece. And you got to pay up. So
mhm.
that, like, people are like, oh, I'm just gonna go get my truck and I'm gonna go park at the park. Like you have to play ball with the cities. You can't just go do whatever you want. Um, 'Cause I guess, and from their perspective, they're like, well, that's not fair. Like, it's a city funded park, and you're benefiting from the city. We want our percentage. So
Mm.
the good news is, we do a lot in the community. So like Costa Mesa, Huntington Beach, we do a lot with the city, and we'll even go to events and we'll donate an extra percentage. Sometimes we'll donate tips. We donate a ton of product. So a lot of it is that piece too. Like if you build a relationship, if you're a good company, you stand for the right things. Maybe they'll help you out a little bit. So I think that's maybe a big thing too, is if you're a money greedy, and this might fall up to our future conversation, we talk about advice for entrepreneurship, but you can't be like greedy, money hungry. If you can find a way to like give back and be a part of the community will give back to you. So that's a big piece that we've kind of learned over time. uh,
Yeah, that's great perspective. Well, I mean, especially, I mean, California, so many positive things, but regulation is not one of them. It is very regulated in so many areas. So that's a big challenge for any business there.
yeah, and Orange County is pretty cool for the most part. Like, I think we had the idea of like, oh, maybe we'll go down to Del Mar, because there's a big dog beach in Del Mar. They don't allow any food trucks in Del Mar. Zero.
Mm.
You can't park anywhere in Del Mar. We pulled up and we probably did like $700 in like an hour and a half in Del Mar. Like awesome. Got kicked out right away.
Yeah.
They just don't allow food trucks. Like period. So that's one where it's like, as we expand and we want to go to these beaches and stuff like that, you got to find a way to give back to that community. LA's probably got LA's got a good amount of restrictions too.
Hmm.
Um, or another city where it's like if you find a way to collaborate with a community or a nonprofit organization, and there's some meaning to it besides you just trying to go out there and make money for yourself, that's a good way for you to be able to be successful.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Wow. So tell us, like, what would you say for Mobile Barkery? What makes your treats, your products different from, I would guess, what we can generally get at most pet stores?
Yeah, it's probably the flavors. Like at the farmers market, we get that, probably that's like the number one comment we get all the time is like, well, we go to the stores and there's like, your peanut butter cookies, or there's a cheddar biscuit, or there's like a chicken biscuit, but we have like, it's our designs too. Like our designs are like you've probably seen the corgi butt that we make.
Hmm. Yeah.
We have like the corgi butt, that we customize. But that's also the flavors too. Like we have one that's like a chicken, bacon, and cheddar. We have another one that's like a Hello Kitty cookie. It's a salmon with sweet potato. Like so, someone made a comment today. Who puts salmon in a cookie? We put salmon in a cookie. So there's a lot of dogs out there who just don't like peanut butter. They don't like peanut
Hmm.
butter cookies. Um, or we have like a peanut butter blueberry. We don't like blueberries. So we actually have like savory biscuits too, that are healthy, right? Like that salmon sweet potato is a good popper. Then we have like we freeze dry our own stuff now. So we have like a freeze dried beef, and we add like freeze dried pork, and then we'll add some cheese to it. So we'll do like a beef, bacon, and cheese cookie. And we do different designs all the time. So like my wife lets me get away with like some designs, like I like South Park and like guy shows or like family.
Yeah, totally.
You know, we have some like cool designs that like we'll do, like a Mickey Mouse, because we're in Disneyland capital, right? So we'll do some Disney designs. We'll have some fun with the characters during St. Patty's Day. We'll have like a beer mug, like Clovers. Easter, we'll have Easter cookies. So it's the combination of the designs and the flavors that you won't get anywhere else. Obviously, our stuff is grain free, gluten
Hmm.
organic. So our cookies are extremely soft. Like you've tried them, right? Like not you, but your doggies.
Yeah,
Very soft. They're degradable, right? So even with doggies who are senior and they got no teeth in their gummers, they'll be able to eat our cookies no problem.
they're hardy too. I mean, I like did I
They're
say
thick.
dense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're thick. So we do like a buy four get one free for our cookies, because I mean we make our cookies with garbanzo bean flour and we make it with coconut flour. so it's expensive.
Mhm.
That's why we sell our cookies $5 or $6, but it's buy four get one free. So it's probably like a thing. We don't get it all the time, but someone might balk at maybe the price of our cookies. But yeah, if you guys want us to make wheat cookies, we can sell these things for $2 because I can go get a giant bag of rice flour or wheat flour, and you can have some grains in your cookies, but you can get that stuff everywhere. Like
Right.
it costs if you want a grain-free, organic, healthy cookie, and it's like you mentioned, it's a thick cookie. It's probably like 5 or 6 ounces, so it's a big, hefty cookie. And if you have a smaller dog, you can break it off, put it in the freezer, give it to them later.
Yeah, make it last. Do you have a perceived shelf life of yours if you were to keep it room temperature?
Room temperature, like you gotta probably eat it in a day. It's like people food.
Hmm.
Uh, and if it's in the fridge, maybe 2 days. If you like, we had a girl today buy 12 cookies. Um, you gotta put those in the freezer. So on the shelf life in the freezer, they'll last up to 3 months.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's like takeout. I mean, that's high quality. You don't have all the fillers and emulsifiers and preservatives and things.
Yeah, there's zero preservative in it. Yeah, it's all people food.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. So tell me, this is new. Now you're newish that you're franchising Mobile Barkery. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we just started franchising in January. I think when we first started, we just wanted it as like a side thing. We were okay with that. We're okay with being small. It was just really just something for us to do, like just to have fun with. Over time, I think it was like March of last year is when we were like really took off. Like we had some like viral videos. We kind of like got we were on like some TV shows and stuff like that. So we got pretty popular. And then we started getting a lot of questions about like, hey, like I want to do this too in my city. Like, can you give me advice on it? And then I would like kind of comment back and be like, oh, it's proprietary information, and like, well, it's bullshit. Um, like that. But that's kind of like what my response was. Like, well, it's proprietary. Like, I'm gonna tell you how to open a business. And some of the questions would be like, well, I'm in this city, I wouldn't compete with you. Well, you kind of do because we also sell online. So, like, anyway, anywhere in the world, you're competing with me. That's how I look at it. Um, and then we kind of, we had someone from a consulting company reach out to us because you guys thought about doing this. We're like, not really. It's kind of we've done that before. We've been on the other side of franchising, and it was a total nightmare. Like we hated it. It was the logistics piece, like being able to change the price anytime you wanted to. There was just a lot of restrictions. Didn't really feel like it was like our business. Um, but then when we thought about like, okay, like if we do this, like we're gonna do it the right way. Like we're gonna make sure like it feels like it's their business, instead of us like telling somebody what to do. Because we think that's really important. Otherwise, you're just growing someone else's brand. And at the end of the day, they are growing the brand, but we want them to feel like they're a part of the brand. Um, so yeah, we thought it was like, well, we're kind of doing a disservice if people really like this concept and this idea. Well, let's just franchise it. Like it's essentially like if people really want to do this, fine. Like pay us a fee. We'll literally walk you through on how to do this. You can use our product. Like we had a whole go through like the FTC. That there's like a 190-page manual that we have. So it was a process. It took a few months to get registered and all that. But yeah, I think as of like December of last year is when we were actually live in terms of franchising. So we really started marketing it in January.
So where does somebody start if they want to do that? Do they just go to the website, start the application process?
There's a link on themobilebarkery.com, and it's in the franchising section. We'll ask them qualifying questions. It's nothing over complicated. And if they can't fill that out, then they're not really serious about doing this business.
Right.
But questions, they fill it out. We'll review the answers with our consulting team. And then if all goes well, we'll just say, hey, like this looks good. Let's set up a call. Once they set up that call, if it all goes well, we'll send them like a questionnaire. And that's sort of where like people are either moving forward or they get out of it right away. Because what we do is we send a questionnaire and like, where are you going to go? How often are you going to work it? How many days a week? Are you going to run it? Are you going to have employees? Where do you plan on going? Do you know how the permitting works? So then people go, oh shit, like this is like real. Like I like it's not just like this gimmick, you know, uh, viral food. Like now this is like I have to pay money and I got to actually figure this out. And so when
Mm.
people actually get to that part, most actually surprisingly already have a plan, which is pretty nice. Like we've had quite a few people with a plan, with an idea of what they want to do. Um, they're a lot like us. They had a plan of something they want to do. Maybe they've seen our truck for about a year and now they're ready to do it. So we've had probably about 15 to 20 inquiries in the last probably like 45 days.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so we're pretty stoked. We're pretty confident by the end of the year we'll have at least. We're not going to go crazy and have a bunch. We want to make sure the ones that come out first, like they're really well taken care of, because as we grow and we get bigger, we want to make sure like those franchisees are like they're going to speak on our behalf, right? Because future franchisees are like the number one question we get asked all the time is like, well, do you have any franchisees right now? The answer is no. We don't have any right now because we just started. But that's why we're going to put everything we can into the franchises that we have in the future. So when we get asked that question, we're like, hey, don't take our word for it. Like, talk to them. Um, and so, like, that's probably a something that we come across quite a bit is when we get someone who calls us, it's they're looking at multiple franchises and not just ours. And that's a question that comes up, and I guess the answer that we have for that is like, well, if you don't have any franchisees, how do I know to trust you? It's like, well, the answer to that is we're going to give you everything we have, like because we're not a McDonald's, we're a Starbucks where they have thousands. You're not going to get any attention around. For us, it's going to be like consulting. Like we're going to be on it. It's this is crucial for us to make sure that when we roll this out, it's a replication of our brand, and we care a lot about our brand. So we want to make sure like you're doing the right things and you're successful. Last thing we want to happen is you have a truck, the 9 months, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So it is interesting when you're franchising, like when you start thinking about from that perspective, like it's not as easy as like, oh yeah, let's just go get our truck out like out there everywhere. We've had some interesting conversations with people, like in terms of like, is it going to work as a non? Because that's really important. Is you got to make sure like we can collaborate well, we get along well, because this is everything for us. So we are excited about it, and we're excited about like about growing the brand, but it's just got to be with the right people. I know we
Well,
went
that's,
down a rabbit hole of all kinds of stuff for franchising, but failure we throw in some more extra info.
yeah, I mean, but that's smart scalability. I mean, I think that's how you do that. If you rush into something you hadn't thought about those points, businesses get into trouble all the time for not doing it that way. So kudos to you for doing it with that in mind. So I would say what's next, but it sounds like you have a scalability plan, kind of dot around the country with more mobile barkeries.
Yeah, we have a scalability. We have, I don't want to like give out cities that we're close on yet because I don't want to jinx it.
Sure.
But a couple. Um, California would be really the goal to grow first because the obvious reasons we're in Orange County. In terms of logistically, it'd be easier to grow. Also, um, it's actually good you asked that because we're actually going like to a subscription model too. So that's something that we're trying to replicate. We get, and that was really generated similar to like why we started doing the franchising because we get asked about that.
Mhm.
You know, we obviously have our online store, but like we always tell people, oh, if you want to like go buy online, you can go buy online. But really, people don't really buy online that much because they love the experience of the truck. Because we have like the peanut butter bubbles. Sometimes we have the pool out during the summer. They get to come on the truck. So like they want a reason like to come to the truck. But like similar to like I guess like the Bark Box model. That's something that we're gonna start doing too. So people are gonna have the ability to come to the truck and even like sign up for a subscription on the truck, so that monthly we could actually ship them like a cool box. Um, we're kind of going through how we're going to scale that in terms of like, gold, silver, platinum, whatever we're going to call it. We're going to use dog puns. But the
Love it.
subscription in parallel with the franchising piece.
Man, that's super cool. I'm excited about that.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely make when we get it all figured out. Right now we're doing like the design and stuff of it, and we want to make sure when we roll it out, like it's like something fun, like something cool. And I think we really wanted to do that because like Christmas time, people are like, "Oh, do you have like a box, like a really fun, like festive box?" And we're like, "Not really, no." And I was like, "Damn it, next year, we're gonna make sure we have like Halloween, like more festive design, like packaging." Because our brand is cool, like the products and stuff we have, but I think this year it's like, you know, like buttoning up all the packaging and making it look fun and festive. And so that's something that we're working on right now.
Yeah, that's part of the experiential part of it, right? Like you said, people like to come to the truck because then it's an experience that you're actually sharing. And when you have a subscription box and there are different seasonal ones, I mean, that's experiential. It's satellite experiential because they're not coming to you, but that's, same concept, I think.
Yeah, you want to walk around, you want like if you can have some kind of like brand or product and they can receive it and they can take a video of it and like, oh, look what I got on my box. Like that's as a business what you want. It's similar to like people do like we love the marketing of the truck. People get a picture, they love the ice cream, the dog's licking it, but if they get in the really like right now, it's not like they're going to social media and like taking a picture of it. So we want to make it like fun and cool, something exciting. Maybe like every package that package comes and the dog just like knows they see that mobile barkery box and it's our specific color and they know it's for them. So like that's what we're trying to capture is like that dog just knows every month when that package comes out, they're just like so excited. So we're trying to play around with like what that looks like. It'll obviously have our treats in there, but maybe we incorporate toys similar to like what Bark Box does, but we're gonna put our own flavor and twist on it.
Yeah. Oh, super, super awesome. Well, thank you for this feels like such insider information that you're sharing with us now. So I feel privileged to be privy to it, to hear about
Yeah,
it.
thinking that
Yeah.
as like this would be considered proprietary, but it's like whatever. I mean, it's I think this is actually good too for us to use because this answers a lot of the questions that people already like they want to ask us. We get these questions in our DMs and we answer this anyways. So maybe through this and we can maybe post some like clips and stuff like that and dice this up. But like this will help answer a lot of the questions. So that's why I'm glad we're doing this because this will help us from a perspective of like if people are sitting there and they're seeing our franchising postings but they have questions, I'm hoping that maybe this will make them feel a lot more comfortable about reaching out to us, and feel more comfortable
A good
about.
FAQ video. Yeah.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah. And that's what this is what our show is to try to bring information to the pet parent. So I'm
Perfect.
glad that we can help you with this. But we know that you have a busy weekend ahead. We appreciate you so much. I'll leave you with one last question. What's your best entrepreneurial advice?
For
I know
the
such a
uh,
vast question.
okay, so yeah, for entrepreneurship, um the number one thing people ask all the time is like in addition to the number one thing I was saying is like, hey, is this business profitable? It is going to be profitable if you care about the business. Like you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort. So like if you're looking for a quick money grab, like if you're hoping this entrepreneurship is Bitcoin, it's not Bitcoin. It is not like you just throw money at something and you expect like you're gonna have to work your butt off. It's hard. Like there's no more 8 to 5. There's no more 9 to 4. Like you gotta work your ass off. I work every day.
Right.
I right, but like in addition, just the mobile barkery business alone, like this is all I think about because I care so much about it being successful. And have a plan. So you got to have a plan, and then don't be afraid to execute. I think that's probably like my number one advice. Stop being so afraid. Like I left corporate America in 2021, and my first idea was the doggy treat food truck. I wasn't like it wasn't like I was some weirdo with a random job. Like I was in tech sales. I was a director. I oversaw Las Vegas. I oversaw LA, San Diego, Orange County. I managed up to like 25 people. Like I had like a big boy job. When I left, I had other business I wanted to open, but this was going to be the business that I want to have fun with. So if you can find a business that you're passionate about, man, it's not going to feel like work. Like this is work, but it's not. Like it's fun. Um, I mean, I've worked all day today. Like I got up at 7 a.m. to go do the farmer's market and the doggy meetup. But I don't feel like I worked it all day. I get to hang out with dogs all day. Um, and this is kind of backtracking a little bit. But when you asked the question, like, how did you first come to this? I didn't know I was going to do a doggy truck business in the first place. I was actually looking at other businesses too, like other food trucks. But then I realized, like, well, dude, I just quit a job to inherit like another job. Like that's what that kind of felt like. Was like
Mhm.
I quit this, but I'm gonna go do a food truck. Like for people, like I don't know about you, people kind of suck. Like I don't know. Like dogs are so happy, they're so grateful.
Dogs are
Um,
definitely way better. Yeah.
Trying to cater to them. So, I think if you can find a way like, where you can be passionate, really passionate about it, like it's not going to feel like work. Don't be afraid. I mean, there's going to be things that don't go as planned. Like for us, I think I talked about like we thought we are just going to go by the beaches and that was going to work. Um, the very first day we opened was the air and water show in Huntington Beach. It was an oil spill. We put all this money into marketing, like all this money, like in a market for a grand opening. We didn't get to open. All right, so like curveballs happen, life happens, you're gonna adjust, life goes on. I don't even remember that moment 4 years ago. Like what, like it's funny that we think about it, but like you just move on and you work your butt off and you put everything into it. So long-winded answer, but I think there's like not one key point to entrepreneurship. But I think if you can find something that's passionate and just work your butt off and not be afraid, like go get it, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, totally. And I think to earmark on what you were saying about it not feeling like work, I mean, there's probably many days it does feel like work, but I think the takeaway is that the rewards are there. Like it's ultimately rewarding. It's not, I think work is kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to a word because we think work is negative, like it has to be drudgery, but it's not always. If it's rewarding work, I think that's kind of what you're getting at, that it doesn't feel like work.
And that brings to like that last point. I know we're coming up, but like the part about when we're talking about sense of community, if your business can also be part of the community, it can also help others, like that will feel good itself. Like it would be a little bit weird if we were just serving dogs and we're like, oh, like people are going to buy whatever for their dogs. It's more patronizing to the customer. But if you could also find a way where you have a business and you can give back, like it feels so good to like go to, the like we got an event at the Pasadena Humane Society over on April 6th. We do a lot of stuff with OC Humane Society, Priceless Pets. We go there like Christmas time. We just let them come on the truck and we like drop stuff off. Like they get to come on the truck, pick out whatever they want. You can find a way to give back. Like your heart's going to be full. So that's probably another part too. Is like get involved in the community, and the community will give back to you. So that's a big thing too. Is give back, and they will always give back to you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There's always that quote, right? When not being afraid, like maybe not, but you're definitely going to miss it if you don't try.
You could always. Well, I always said if it did fail, and I never thought it would fail, but like you could always go find a job again. You know what I mean? Like I have had friends who's gone into entrepreneurship, it just didn't work out, and they went to corporate America. But what they'll say about they're like, I'm not afraid. Like I'll just try it again. Like you know what I mean? So you always have that self assurance and that confidence that you're not really afraid because you've done it before. You're not afraid of doing it again. And sometimes people go entrepreneurship. Okay, they come back and they learn a few things and they take their time and then they go at it again and they're much more prepared. You're not going to hit it every single time, every single business right away. So it's okay if you struggle at first.
Yeah, absolutely. We learn from our failures. Well, thank you for sharing all this with you. Sorry, I think I'm losing a channel here, but thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've had a long day and we appreciate you. I am going to share the Instagram for Mobile Barkery down in the description box on both the audio and the YouTube channel. Episodes so that you can follow Mobile Barkery. You can also follow their website there if you're interested in the franchising opportunities or ordering online. Tony, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll let you get to the rest of your weekend.
All right. Thank you so much. This is awesome. I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to share all this. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing it with us. You have a fantastic rest of your evening.
You too.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Again, I will share the links down in the description box where you can follow Mobile Barkery, and you're also supporting a small business. If you're interested in being part of that franchise, Tony gave us some wonderful information here. But please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. We are here for you every week, all things Corgi and pet tolerant lifestyle. I am Candy. I have the Corgi committee here, Mortimer Barnabas, little Tito Bandito, Booger, my senior, and of course, Chuckles, our spokescorg in my lap here. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. Bye.